have that home.
No.
And music. It's just that mic picking up. It's that mic picking up the.
Good morning. Oh, is it on? Good morning. Thanks. All right. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Rocket Mortgage FieldHouse. First and foremost, thank you all for being here this morning. It's such a unique opportunity for us to be able to really address and share our excitement and all that comes with the opportunity of hosting an event of the magnitude of the Special Olympics. And so I do just want to thank everybody for being here. My name is Nick Barlage. I'm the CEO of Rocket Entertainment Group, which ultimately is all these things that happen in these four walls and a few other things that we have going on in the community here in Northeast Ohio and Detroit. I do first want to thank Governor DeWine for being here, for making the trek this morning on the icy roads from Columbus to join us. I also want to thank my partner and dear friend, David Gilbert, and the entire Greater Cleveland Sports Commission and Destination Cleveland for all they do, and for our special guests, for the site search committee for the Special Olympics. Thank you for coming to Northeast Ohio. Thank you for the opportunity for us to have a chance to earn this iconic event and this iconic kind of moment in time in 2030. We couldn't thank you enough. And so to Jessica Stewart, Gary Somali, and Greg Epperson, your entire group, the work you do, I just want to say before we jump in, the work that you do, there's so much alignment with who we are and what we stand for here in Northeast Ohio and specifically in Cleveland. But at the end of the day, we really look at sports and entertainment as a platform to create impact and as a platform to bring people together, and as an opportunity for us to unite under kind of common interests at the end of the day. And it doesn't matter what your experience has been, whether you're growing up or whether, life, as you deal with life, sports has that unique opportunity to extract the joy and the passion and development. And we think that this opportunity for us and for Northeast Ohio is such a prime opportunity because due to the great leadership we have at the state level with Governor DeWine and his administration and the administration before that came, we have one of the most inclusive states when you think about how we handle athletes that participate within the Special Olympics. And so we think there's a foundation for us to really be able to operate off of and an impact that once again we can create. I will just speak personally to the Cleveland Cavaliers and Rock Entertainment Group and our chairman Dan Gilbert, who could not be here today. The Special Olympics have been threaded through all the work that we've done, whether it was when we played a home game in Paris, France last year. Our main community impact was tied to the Special Olympics. We go to Brazil and we extend our business in Brazil through, once again, community impact and the dedicating of courts. We've dedicated 4 courts in Brazil over the last 18 months. All of that work we've used to activate and highlight the work of Special Olympics. And then right here in Ohio, the work that's so important to us, our very own Tristan Thompson is a global ambassador for the Special Olympics. And so at every turn, as we look at this opportunity, it just shouts to us how great we can help make these games, how great we can create an impact, and how we can ultimately continue to build on the wonderful legacy that the Special Olympics has here in Ohio, but obviously across the entire globe. And so last thing, finally, is the success we enjoy as a city. It's really founded and built on all the things that are important for the athletes that will be participating in these games. It's built on teamwork. It's built on determination. It's built on a grit and a passion and a care for sport that we think is unique and different. And we know this, given the events that we've hosted in this building or throughout this community, when we set our sights on a North Star, there's nothing greater that we can't accomplish than creating an impact and an experience for these athletes that they'll carry forward through the rest of their lives. And we look forward to earning that opportunity in 2030. And so with that, I do want to welcome Governor Mike DeWine to the microphone.
Thank you very much, morning, everybody. To the site selection group who's been here a few days, thank you very much for coming. We are delighted to have you. We're delighted to be able to compete for the Special Olympics USA 2030. Frankly, we're very, very excited about this. And I want to be here personally as governor of the state to tell you this is not just Cleveland. This is Cleveland and Ohio. We're all in. And what you saw a moment ago, we talked to the special athletes. We had the chance to talk with some of the special athletes, but also the volunteers. And that's really what Special Olympics in Ohio is all about. It's about the athletes who love to play, who love to tell you what they're doing. Anytime I can be with Special Olympic athletes, it makes my day. So I also have that ulterior motive of being here today as well. It always brightens my day. But always it's great to see the volunteers. And you saw a number of the volunteers there, and we will have all the volunteers and more that we will need in 2030 if we're fortunate enough to have the Special Olympics come here. So we're just excited about it. If you know Cleveland, if you know Ohio, this is a city that loves sports. This is a state that loves sports, but we also love our Special Olympic athletes. And we think that combination coming together is a great reason, besides great facilities, which you're seeing here today, and a lot of enthusiasm. Those are the reasons that we hope that we are picked for 2030. Thank you very much. Let me now introduce David Gilbert, the Cleveland Sports Commission. We're unique in Cleveland to have the Sports Commission. They do a phenomenal job. They have great focus, and David is a great leader. David.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Nick, for hosting us, and always an amazing partner. And Governor, just so appreciate your being here. This was he wanted to be here. This wasn't twisting any arms, and it means a lot. Also, there's some other great elected officials here who are great partners in so many things, from city council, county council, from state representatives, and appreciate all of the support. And part of what that speaks to is the incredible collaborative community effort, which I'll talk about in a few minutes here. Big thanks to our friends at Special Olympics North America and the Site Selection Committee. We've been on this journey for a long time. We've been passionate about this. This is something that we have been thinking about for years. Made a big group of us were down at Orlando in the games in '22. The whole site selection process started in earnest about a year ago, and Gary in particular been an incredible partner in all of it. I want to just talk a little bit about this event. Our organization, we're a nonprofit organization, we're an economic development organization that works to attract and help manage major national events, big and small. We're approaching 300 events since we started 25 years ago, but this is one that's very different. And it's a huge event. It's every 4 years. It's 5,000 plus athletes, coaches, and officials. It'll be 10,000 plus friends and family, all here for a week plus, probably somewhere around $70 million in economic impact. That's not why we want this. We want this because we know the kind of impact it can have, and we believe the kind of impact it can leave on our city, on our state, is higher than any other event truly we can think of to possibly host. And we've talked a lot about this. Is hard. This event is hard to host. It's expensive to host. Incredibly well worth it. And our focus is on legacy, on the legacy that this event can leave for Special Olympics Ohio leading up to and when it's done, the legacy it can leave for Northeast Ohio and all of Ohio for continuing to have us be one of the best cities in America for people with developmental disabilities and their families to live. And we believe also a legacy in helping to grow the entire Special Olympics movement and the USA Games. I guess what I would close with is something some of you have already heard me talk about, and that we've thought a lot about in this site visit, is that their group is here, and you'll hear from Gary, and they're seeing a lot of facilities, this beautiful facility in Case, in Cleveland State, and the Convention Center, and many others, where we would propose this event being held. To us, that's not the differentiator. I think they're all going to be great. The differentiator is the people. The differentiator is how this community, how this state feels about wanting them here. And it speaks volumes that we already have commitments for well over $10 million before 5.5 years out. They need 10,000 volunteers. We already have 10,000 people signed up to volunteer. Those are just little things, but they're a demonstration of what this community will do to wrap itself around this event unlike any other place it will have ever seen. With that, I'm going to bring up my good friend Jessica Stewart. Jessica is CEO of Special Olympics Ohio, and I just say we reached out to Jessica probably 3.5 years ago now, just saying, hey, we're maybe interested in doing this. What do you think? And the partnership and the friendship that's been developed through this process, and if we're fortunate enough to get it, that will carry on, is I think unlike any that we've had. So Jessica, thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. It is my absolute honor to be up here representing Special Olympics Ohio and our 20,000 athletes statewide. And there are so many incredible people here today. There are so many incredible people. Governor DeWine, thank you so much. Always visiting our state summer games and always taking the time to speak with our athletes and our families. And that means the world to us and our community as well. I cannot thank enough David Gilbert and Monty and the Greater Cleveland Sports Commission for all that they have done in this partnership. This has launched our program and our athletes beyond any expectation I have ever had, so quickly and so rapidly, to the forefront of the work that we do every single day in the intellectual disability space for our athletes. And it is just a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for us here in Ohio to be able to host games like this. And the legacy that it leaves not only to our Special Olympics Ohio athletes here in Ohio, but across the United States and across North America. So I am incredibly grateful. What I love about this too is every single day we are talking about the true value that we bring to the lives of our athletes, but also so much it's the legitimacy of the sport that we do and what we can bring to our athletes and to the sports field and the sports community. So having this partnership with the Greater Cleveland Sports Commission, Cleveland, you guys, I have never seen so much support wrapping around all that we do here, and I thank you all so much for just being part of this and just entertaining all of us here and what Cleveland can do to wrap their arms around our athletes and the hope and the heart and everything that we feel when we're here in the Cleveland area and all throughout Ohio. So this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for us, and I thank my coworkers at Special Olympics, national, international, North America, those of you who have come and given your time. This is so important, and I feel how important this is to you all. So thank you for doing this on top of all that you also do every single day for our athletes across the country. So thank you very much. At this time, this is one of my favorite times always to invite our athletes up. This is where I feel the most comfort, is when I have an athlete like Sophie or an athlete like David or an athlete like Seth. Come on up here, Sophie. I would like to introduce you all to Sophie Coffinberry. And I have a couple questions for her. I'm going to take the microphone off here so I can give it to you. She's been very well prepped, by the way, on how to use a microphone. She's very good. Sophie was an MC with me at, I can't remember which summer games that was, Sophie, but you were incredible.
Thank you.
Yeah, very much incredible. And Sophie is one of our athlete leaders. In the work that we do, not only on the field, but off the field, we encourage our athletes to be strong leaders in their communities. And Sophie is one of those. So, and actually, Sophie has just come on staff with us at Special Olympics Ohio, so we're really excited to watch her growth there as well. But I have a couple questions for you, Sophie. Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Always. I know. I'm going to make sure I get this clear.
She says, always, I'm always ready. All right, so my first question to you, Sophie, is as an athlete, what are your favorite sport to participate in?
My favorite sport to participate in would have to be swimming because I compete in the 100 individual melody where I'm able to swim 4 different strokes and I never get bored because I'm always having to work on one stroke or more than one stroke to be able to perfect it for the next competition or for the next regional meet or just to get better for next season.
That's what we all need to take, right? Get better for next season, right? Get better for next year. That's all that we do, right? That's your full heart, isn't it? What does being a Special Olympics athlete leader mean to you?
Being a Special Olympics athlete leader means to me that I'm able to help other athletes when they come to me with questions or wanting to start up maybe a club or a program or something. I'm able to direct them and lead them to the people in state office who are in charge of that area, or even I try to help them as best as I can. And with being an athlete leader, I feel like I have now became a role model to other athletes because they're wanting to become athlete leaders just like me, to be able to come out and do these events and be able to meet others and boost their confidence.
Very good. Have you practiced this a lot, Sophie? Yes, she says yes. You're just going, girl. That's for sure. So I have one last question for you. So what if Special Olympics USA Games came to Ohio? What would you be the most excited about?
I'd be the most excited about only having a 3-hour car ride and not having to fly. But most importantly, I feel like Ohio would be put out on the map. We have 3 major teams here. So, I mean, we're going to have a lot of volunteers, I feel like, from the 3 major teams because I know the Browns are in partnership with us and they came and helped ran a camp with us. And then I also feel like we have a lot of like public transportation. So that's going to help a lot because, you know, those teams can use the buses to get to public places here in Cleveland as well.
Very good. So anything else you want to add, Sophie?
I just want to thank everybody for letting me come here to represent Special Olympics Ohio, and I'm really hoping that we do get the bid for the 2030 USA Special Olympics Games here. It would mean a lot to me and my athletes to be able to come and compete and be able to show others our abilities and to have fun and to meet others from around the world to see what we all have in common and to also meet other athlete leaders so that maybe we can put together a big athlete leadership council and we could all come together and do different things and learn about each other's different leaderships.
Very good. Thank you, Sophie. As you can see, not only for Sophie, but all of us, this event would mean so much to us coming to Cleveland and coming to Ohio. At this time, I would like to bring up my friend, Gary Simaglia. I always like, oh. He is our Senior Vice President of Sports at Special Olympics North America. And I'd like you to share a few thoughts as we wrap this up. Do you want it back on here? Okay, yes. Perfect.
Good morning, everybody. I have the unenviable task of going after Sophie. So, sorry about everything that's going to happen now. So, but again, good morning. Just first want to thank the governor, Governor DeWine, the city of Cleveland, Nick, you and your team, and certainly the Greater Cleveland Sports Commission, especially David and Monica for the work they've put in for this, and Jessica and Special Olympics Ohio for having us and putting a bid in for these games. It's certainly been just a great couple of days, but overall, the above and beyond what we've seen so far is just a tremendous amount of pride in everyone we've met, talked to. Genuineness, I think that was said a few times up here too. everyone seems really just proud to be part of Cleveland, and their intentions behind this event seem really genuine. So that's been really great. We know there's a lot of work just to go around, just to make this happen, for folks to, provide us the opportunity to see these tremendous places, meet tremendous people. Really do appreciate that. That's a lot of work to put into there. It does take for these games, it takes a tremendous amount of resources, collaboration, and partnerships to ensure that they run successfully. And I think David said that very well before. And so far, it's been demonstrated. And you certainly have our deepest gratitude for your efforts there. Ultimately, the goal of this entire process and the goal of the USA Games is to provide that once-in-a-lifetime experience for athletes who may have never had the opportunity before to do this. And I can tell you, as part of this team that's here and representing all of our programs from across not only the U.S. but Canada and the Caribbean, we all have that in mind. We want to work with programs and work with cities and collaborators to provide just that opportunity to showcase what our athletes can do, right? And I think so many times people look at a competition like a Special Olympics Games or a USA Games a little lower than any other major competition. But I can guarantee you that, like Sophie said, she just wants to get better, and she wants to show the world what she can do. And I think these games obviously make sure that happens. And that's ultimately what we want to do. And whoever we select, and this will be the 7th edition in 2030 of the USA Games, what we've been able to provide is the platform for athletes to compete at national level in national level venues and against other competitors from around the country, but more importantly, open the eyes of the communities that ultimately host it and are part of it, to show them that everyone has value, everyone should be respected, and everyone has ability. Okay? So thank you again for this. Our process from here is pretty simple. Just so you know, the team there's 6 folks here plus myself for the site visit, but the entire committee is about 13 individuals. They represent staff from each of the programs across the country, as well as athletes are part of the committee. We have CEOs of other programs as part of the committee, health folks, youth leadership folks. So we have a wide range of people that are involved in this process. And to this point, it's been very difficult to kind of discern between the two, but both super, and especially Cleveland's been great here. From this point, we got our next couple of days. I think they're trying to beat us into submission to select Cleveland by just keeping us moving all day and night. I take that back. It's just been tremendous. It's been a lot of fun. You all laughed, so I actually was going to start this with, I'd like to introduce the winner for the bid, and then kind of walk away. But we won't go there from there. But our hope is to make this final decision sometime Q2 of this year. We're looking around April, May, June, sometime in that time period. It's all based on our final visits and then wrap-ups and meetings and trying to figure it all out. But we're really excited to be able to select somebody 5 years from the 2030 games, which will only help us create not only a great opportunity, but that lasting legacy that David talked about, not only for Cleveland, Special Olympics Ohio, but of all programs throughout the country and around the region. So thank you all again. Thank you all to our great hosts for having us here. We look forward to a couple of more days of walking and great food. So thank you.
From the media. Please start by stating your name and outlet and to whom your question will be directed. Topic being Special Olympics questions only, please.
All right, John Costa from Channel 5 ABC here in Cleveland. Areas for you, what are the cities that we're competing with, and what are you looking for in particular on these site selection visits?
Yeah, sure. So,
Can you step up?
oh. Yeah, so the two finalists are Cleveland and Nashville, Tennessee. What we're looking for here is a couple of things. One, if you're talking about the physical piece of it all, is that elevation of venues that an athlete can come here and say, wow, I walked into the basketball venue and this is better than I ever expected. Not only the structure of the venues, the look of the venues, whatever it is, and the competition level, that we do follow the rules, that we have the best officials calling the games, the athletes are well prepared coming into the competition, and overall, just quality, meaningful competition when it comes to athletes competing against each other. Does that help? That okay?
Well, if I can follow up, when we landed the RNC, a big factor was the people of Cleveland and the support of Cleveland. What's your reaction when you see 10,000 volunteers already signing up 5 years out?
Yeah, that's just really great enthusiasm and like I said, so genuine. It's really, it feels like a community rallying around an opportunity. And I don't think that's unusual, truthfully. I know everywhere we go and past games that we've had bids for, that kind of enthusiasm's been there for sure. But it really, it's actually comforting, I guess, in a way to say, man, that excitement that far out is something that's really valuable.
Matt Rascone with Channel 3 here in Cleveland. I'm wondering if what sort of impact the hosting of these games has had on past cities that have hosted the games.
Yeah, certainly from an awareness perspective, and I think that's one of the things we've talked about here. One of legacy pieces that if Cleveland were selected, that they talked about was what are the perceptions before and after of persons with intellectual disabilities and their abilities. So we think those have really risen in some of the other locations, which have helped the programs locally develop even more.
And one follow-up. Some people have seen this as a rock versus country competition. Is music genre playing into this at all?
I heard the rock versus country laugh and didn't hear the rest of the question. Sorry.
Oh, just if music, if your preference in music is playing into this.
I don't know. Where do we go for oldies, like 50s music? Like that's here? I don't know. I like sports talk radio, so I can't hear too. All right.
Yeah.
I'm just going to stop. Yeah.
Thank you.
Katie Tursek with 19 News. So if the Special Olympics came to Cleveland, how would it look? Do you guys have an idea of that? What facilities would be used, things like that?
Sure. What we're proposing is that the primary hubs being downtown with the use of the convention center, public hall, all the hotels, Cleveland State with dormitories, sports facilities, and Case with dormitories and sports facilities. Certainly some of the sports, golf, bowling, some things are a little bit outside of that core, but we feel we have a great package. Everything is a short distance with the RTA Health line in between, so you've got great public transportation for friends, family, and guests. And then one of the things we're talking about is opening ceremony here at Rocket Mortgage FieldHouse as a potential, and so that's our core, and ultimately our job is to show the site selection committee all the different possibilities, and it's a team effort as to where things ultimately go. What sports may be where, those types of things, but we feel that we've got a really good package to offer.
Thank you.
One last question, anyone? Thank you so much. All right.
Somebody, friends with Kelly, so I just wanted to say hey. Go back. Oh, nice. Oh, I'm her best friend.